developments on Syria is Emanuele Ottolenghi. He's a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies and is with us this hour from Washington. Welcome back to our program.
Thank you.
So, after Russia's offer yesterday, Obama's speech last night, are we closer to a military strike, or are we really closer to some sort of diplomatic solution today? Which path are we going down now?
I think that we are in the high seas going adrift. There is no sense of direction and no real policy. The president said 2.5 years ago that Assad must go. Those are his words. Now, when you are the President of the United States and you express, you voice such a notion, you're not just expressing an opinion like I am doing now here on your program. You are stating a policy, and people take your word to mean that that is the intention of the President of the United States, and that is what America will pursue as a policy. Now, when you compare that statement and what it means with what the President said last night, you're left confused. The President began his speech by basically putting President Assad and his infamous chemical attack in the same boat with World War I chemical attacks on soldiers and Auschwitz. So he compared him to Hitler, but then he said we're going to do diplomacy with him. Those two things don't go together.
John Kerry is off to meet with Russian officials for the next 2 days in Geneva. What should we be looking for to come out of that meeting?
The problem with the offer that the Russians have seized upon once Secretary Kerry mentioned it in off-the-cuff remarks is the following. The proposal is not practical, even in the best of circumstances, namely, even if we could trust the Russians and we could trust the Syrian regime. The problem is that Syria until last week denied having chemical weapons, and Russia until last week was saying that there was absolutely no evidence that the regime in Syria was responsible for the chemical attacks. So even in the best circumstances, it would be very difficult. We don't have the best circumstances. You would have to have thousands of people involved in inspecting, securing, and removing the chemical weapons in Syria, and the only way you could do that is in a situation where conflict is no longer there. So you need to first stop the civil war, find a political solution to it, and then you can start talking about how to practically remove those weapons. So it's a no-go. If this meeting in Geneva is meant to actually expose the Russian proposal as an effort to buy time and save Assad, then I'm all for it. But if the President thinks that this is an initiative that actually can avoid America's intervention to uphold the principles of responsibility to protect, to which he himself committed America to 2 years ago in Libya, then the United States has a very serious problem, and the credibility of the U.S. is on the line.
All right. We, of course, will be watching. Emanuele Ottolenghi, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.